All right, let's talk about something that's on everyone's mind these days. Finding an affordable place to live without having to sacrifice your quality of life. It sounds impossible, right? Especially in a city as popular and beautiful as Charleston, South Carolina. But here's the thing. What if I told you that not only can you find a place to live here that fits your budget, but the overall cost of living can actually be manageable, even enjoyable? You get the charm, the beaches, the history, and the food, all without completely draining your wallet. Sounds pretty great, doesn't it? But here's the catch. It's not just about finding a cheap house. It's about everything else that comes with it. What's the cost of food? How much is it to enjoy a weekend out? What's your commute going to look like? And how much gas is that going to cost? All of these things add up. And in Charleston, they add up in a way that makes it surprisingly affordable, if you know where to look. So in this video, we're not just going to talk about the most affordable places to live in Charleston. Oh no, we are going bigger. We're going to take a full look at why living in Charleston is affordable beyond just housing. We're covering everything from the cost of grabbing dinner to the free entertainment around town, and then we'll dive into some of the best budget-friendly neighborhoods where you can live your best low-country life without having to break the bank. By the end of this, you'll not only have a list of affordable places to live, but also a complete understanding of how to stretch your dollar here without having to sacrifice the things that matter most. Are you ready? Let's jump in. First, let's talk about food. Now, if you're a foodie like me, Charleston has you covered without draining your wallet. Sure, there are upscale spots like Husk and Fig where you're going to pay a pretty penny. But the beauty of Charleston is the abundance of amazing, affordable eats. Think local seafood joints, mom and pop barbecue spots, and little cafes that serve up some of the best shrimp and grits that you will ever taste, all without having to break the bank. And don't even get me started on food trucks. You can find everything from tacos to low country boils, all at prices that will leave both your stomach and your wallet happy. Plus, if you're into cooking at home, Charleston's farmers markets are fantastic. You can snag fresh, local produce, seafood, and baked goods for way less than what you'll pay at a high-end grocery store. Speaking of groceries, Charleston has a mix of options to fit every budget. You've got your fancy grocery stores like Whole Foods and Harris Teeter, but you also have affordable options like Aldi, Walmart, and even local discount markets. If you plan your shopping right, you can save a ton while still eating like royalty. Now, let's talk about entertainment. One of the best things about Charleston is that a lot of the entertainment here is free or super affordable. For example, you can spend an entire day exploring the city's historic streets, window shopping along King Street, or visiting iconic spots like the Battery or Waterfront Park, all without spending a dime. Do you want to enjoy the outdoors? The beaches like Folly, Sullivan's Island, and Isle of Palms are all free to visit, although you might need to pay for parking. If you're more into hiking or kayaking, the area is packed with state parks and waterways. Places like Caw Interpretive Center or the trails in the Francis Marion National Forest offer low-cost entry fees or free access. You could spend a whole weekend adventuring without ever pulling out your wallet for anything except for snacks. My name is Deneen Gary, the Southern Living Yankee. I made so many mistakes when I moved to South Carolina from Pennsylvania, and now I'm a realtor, so I can help others avoid those same mistakes. You can call, text, or shoot me an email today to start your search and to find out how I help my clients by paying $1,000 of their closing costs. Or you can download my relocation guide to find out everything about Charleston. Another big money saver in Charleston is community events. The city and surrounding towns host a ton of free or inexpensive festivals, concerts, and farmers markets. For example, during Spoleto Festival season, you can find free performances if you know where to look. There are also smaller festivals like the Sweet Tea Festival in Summerville or the Flower Town Festival that are fun, family-friendly, and easy on the budget, even in the peak of summer when it's hotter than the surface of the sun. Not really. There are evening events like outdoor movie nights or live music on the beach that are completely free. Now, let's get into transportation. Charleston is a relatively small city, which means that you don't need to rely on expensive public transit or rack up miles of gas just to get from point A to point B. If you live in a walkable area like downtown, parts of Mount Pleasant, or even certain spots in Summerville, you can get by with minimal driving. For longer commutes, gas prices in South Carolina are often lower than the national average, thanks to relatively low gas taxes. Plus, Charleston's car insurance rates are pretty reasonable compared to larger metro areas. And if you really want to save, biking is a big deal here. The city is expanding its bike paths, and towns like Daniel Island and James Island are incredibly bike friendly. Utilities are another area where Charleston can be surprisingly affordable. Thanks to the mild winters, your heating bills won't be sky high like they might be up north. Sure, you're going to pay a little bit more in the summer to run your AC because, let's face it, summer here is no joke. But overall, utility costs tend to balance out. And if you're thinking about going green, Charleston has incentives for things like solar panels, which can save you even more in the long run. Another big factor is taxes. South Carolina's property taxes are some of the lowest in the country, even in Charleston County, which has higher property values. You'll find that the taxes are far lower than in many other states. And let's not forget the state income tax. It's not the lowest, but it is reasonable, and there are plenty of deductions that can help keep your overall tax burden down. Plus, if you're retired or planning to retire here, South Carolina is super friendly to retirees. Social Security's benefits aren't taxed, and there are exemptions for other types of retirement income. Combine that with the lower cost of living compared to places like Florida or California, and you've got a recipe for affordable retirement living. Charleston is also great when it comes to healthcare affordability. The area has a wide range of healthcare options, from big hospital systems like MUSC to smaller clinics and urgent care centers. The competition among providers helps keep costs pretty low, and if you're a veteran, Charleston has one of the best VA hospitals in the region. Plus, with so many outdoor activities and a generally active lifestyle, staying healthy here is easier and cheaper than in some other cities. And let's not forget education. If you've got kids or are planning to go back to school yourself, Charleston has a ton of affordable options. Public schools in areas like Mount Pleasant, James Island, and even parts of Summerville are highly rated, which means that you don't necessarily need to shell out money for private school tuition. For higher education, there's the College of Charleston, Trident Technical College, and Charleston Southern University, all of which offer pretty competitive tuition rates. And if you're into lifelong learning, many of these institutions offer free or low-cost community classes. Finally, let's talk about the overall quality of life. Charleston is one of those rare places where you can live affordably without feeling like you're sacrificing. The weather is great most of the year, so you can enjoy outdoor activities without spending a fortune. The people are friendly, the culture is rich, and the pace of life is just slow enough to let you catch your breath without feeling like you're stuck in the past. And that, my friends, is priceless. So when you add it all up, affordable housing, low taxes, cheap or free entertainment, and reasonable costs for essentials like food and transportation, it's clear that Charleston offers a ton of bang for your buck. It's not just a place to live, it's a place to thrive. And that's what makes it truly special. Now, here's the thing. When you combine all of these factors, It paints a pretty compelling picture of how you can live affordably in Charleston without feeling like you're cutting corners on life. But let's face it, no matter how affordable the food, entertainment, and transportation are, housing is often the biggest piece of the puzzle. It's the foundation, pun intended, that ties everything together. So let me shift gears and dive into what you really came here for. Finding a place to call home that won't have you eating instant noodles for the next decade. Although my children love them. Whether you're looking for a charming, historic home, a modern townhouse, or a starter home in a growing neighborhood, we are going to cover the most budget-friendly options across the Charleston area. And trust me, there is something for everyone. Let's get into that. I want to start with a little reality check. Charleston, South Carolina isn't the poster child for cheap places to live. If you're here thinking that you're going to find a beachfront mansion for the price of a studio apartment in the Midwest, well, you might want to adjust those expectations. Now that said, affordable doesn't mean impossible. It doesn't mean sacrificing charm, convenience, or even proximity to all of the amazing things that make Charleston, well, Charleston. The trick is knowing where to look. And that's where I come in. Now, before I start rattling off neighborhoods and towns, let's level set. What does affordable housing mean to you? For some people, it's keeping a mortgage payment under $2,000 a month. For others, it's staying under $1,500 in rent or finding a home under $300,000. Whatever your number is, stick with me because I'm going to cover a wide range of options to fit different budgets and lifestyles. Some spots are perfect for families, others for retirees, and a few are just right for young professionals looking to get a foothold in this beautiful but not so budget-friendly area. Let's kick things off with North Charleston. And before you start cringing, let me say this. North Charleston gets a bad rap, but it is way too big and way too diverse to just slap one label on it. This is one of the most affordable areas in the Charleston metro, and it has everything from trendy neighborhoods like Park Circle to more budget-friendly spots a little bit further out. Park Circle in particular has been a hot spot for young professionals and families looking for a mix of charm and convenience. It's got mid-century bungalows, newer builds, and plenty of personality. Plus, you're surrounded by restaurants, breweries, coffee shops, and parks. It's like a little slice of hipster heaven without the sky-high downtown Charleston prices. But, and this is a big but, Charleston is not as affordable as it used to be. The secret's out, and prices have crept up. Still, compared to downtown Charleston or even Mount Pleasant, it's still a steal. If Park Circle still feels a little out of reach, don't worry. North Charleston has plenty of other options, especially as you head closer to Rivers Avenue or Ashley Phosphate. Now, I know these areas might not have the same cool factor, but if you're focused on affordability, they're worth a look. You'll find older homes, townhouses, and apartment complexes that fit a tighter budget. Plus, you are ridiculously close to all of the big box stores, which, let's be honest, is a win when you run out of toothpaste at 10 p.m. and you need to make an emergency Walmart run. Next, let's hop over to Goose Creek. Goose Creek is one of those places that really doesn't get enough credit. It's affordable, it's convenient, and it's got this laid-back suburban vibe that is perfect for families or for anyone that wants a quieter pace of life. The neighborhoods here range from older, established areas with brick ranch homes to newer developments with some more modern floor plans. And if you're a military family, Goose Creek is a great option because it is so close to the Naval Weapons Station. That also means that you get a lot of stable neighborhoods and a tight-knit community feel. The best part? You're only about 25 to 30 minutes from downtown Charleston. That's assuming traffic isn't doing its usual thing, which, let's face it, is unpredictable at best. Speaking of suburbs, let's talk about Hanahan. Hanahan is like Goose Creek's slightly more polished cousin. It's got the same suburban feel and convenient location, but The homes here tend to have a little bit more character and variety. You will see everything from classic brick ranches to newer builds with all the modern amenities. And if schools are a priority for you, Hanahan has a solid reputation, which makes it a big draw for families. It's just a little bit more expensive than Goose Creek, but it is still far more affordable than Mount Pleasant or downtown Charleston. Plus, Hanahan's location makes it easy to get just about anywhere. Whether you're heading to work in North Charleston, a day at the beach, or a night out downtown. Now, let's head up to Summerville. Summerville, the birthplace of sweet tea, and apparently the place where everyone and their cousin is moving these days. Summerville used to be the go-to spot for affordable housing, and while prices have gone up with all the new developments, it is still one of the more budget-friendly places to live in the Charleston area. The key to finding affordability here is knowing where to look. For example, Sangaree. Sangaree is one of those older neighborhoods with smaller homes and lower price tags. It's really not flashy, but it's affordable and it's close to everything. Then there's Ladson, which kind of straddles the line between Summerville and North Charleston. Ladson is another great option for budget-conscious buyers. It's got a mix of older homes and newer developments, and it is super convenient for commuters. If you're looking for something just a little more polished but still affordable, you need to check out Nexton. Now, Nexton is one of those fancy master plan communities with all of the bells and whistles. You have walking trails, pools, restaurants, and even its own schools. It's really not what I would call cheap, but for what you get, it is worth considering. If that is still out of your budget, head a little further out to places like Ridgeville or Jedburgh. They're quieter, more rural, and definitely easier on the wallet. Moncks Corner is another great option if you're looking for affordability with a side of small town charm. Homes here are some of the most affordable in the Charleston area, especially if you're looking for more space. Want a yard big enough for a garden, a boat, or both? Moncks Corner has you covered. Plus, you're close to Lake Moultrie, which is perfect if you love fishing, boating, or just enjoying the water. It's a slower pace of life, but for a lot of people, that is exactly what they're looking for. Living in Charleston really isn't just about finding an affordable place to live. It's about creating a life that you truly enjoy. And what's better than a life where you can have both? So whether you're already here and looking to make a change, or if you're dreaming about making Charleston your new home, there's a place and a lifestyle here waiting for you. My name is Deneen Gary, the Southern Living Yankee. To learn about Charleston, watch this video where I do a deep dive on Charleston's top 10 suburbs. Thank you so much for joining me. So long for today.